Charles Brandis. Stocks in January were volatile. We saw the fear index, the VIX, over 20 a few times, but it really came down. February left like a lamb. The VIX is now at 14. So is the worst over?
I'm not sure, but I think probably that has coming to an end. Actually, it is a good time for long-term investors right now. And that volatility sometimes can give you opportunities.
And we actually saw the NASDAQ break that 5,000 mark. It's pulled back since then. So where are valuations? Should we be scared when the market hits these new record highs?
I don't think we need to be scared when the market hits new record highs, but I think we need to be careful, especially in the U.S. markets, as compared to markets outside the U.S., which are a lot cheaper in valuations.
All right, so why don't you talk about some of your favorite places to invest right now? Why don't you start outside the U.S.?
Yes. There are, in the general emerging markets, there are some markets that are quite a bit cheaper than the U.S. with more growth potential over the long term for investors. So we like the emerging markets, and we like Europe, which seems to be starting to turn around right now.
When you say emerging markets, let's go back to the BRICS, because the B and the R are not doing well. You have Brazil and Russia, which are struggling, and you have India and China, which still have 7% growth. So why don't you break down those BRICS for me?
Yes, of course, Russia is the cheapest market in the whole world, but of course there are some risks there. Brazil is getting quite cheap, but of course they have some problems also. And so I would be diversified. But I would not eliminate those countries now. If I'm a long-term investor, totally eliminate them, because sometimes you can find good companies that are very cheap prices.
And then bringing it back to the U.S., you said we're pricier than the rest of the world. How much pricier? And if you are going to shop for U.S. stocks, because that's what you like to shop for, what sector would you go for? Would it be technologies, industrials? Where would you put your money back here in the U.S. of A?
Yeah, what we're doing at Brandis Investment Partners is in the U.S. Is finding still value in the bank stocks. Bank stocks are still fairly cheap compared to our normalized rates of return for those bank stocks. So we like that. We also, in our portfolios, are looking at and have had positions in the old technology stocks. The more stable ones, the ones with a lot of business like Microsoft and things like that. We're finding still some good value there.
And do you prefer large or small cap stocks? You like the bigger names because they're paying a dividend, it sounds like. What about some of the smaller players?
There are some attractive smaller players in the U.S., but the small cap stocks in the U.S. are relatively quite expensive. So we're finding more value in the big cap stocks in the U.S.
All right. Thanks a lot, Charles, for coming on.
Thank you. Yeah.
And thank you for watching The Street.